Did you plan a revolution?
Yeah, we did.
What was the plan?
The plan was to get everyone on the street. Number one is that we're going to start from, poor areas. Our demands are going to be all about what touches people's daily life.
There's been a lot of speculation about Muslim Brotherhood being involved in this uprising. How would you describe yourself and your friends who helped mobilize for the first protests on January 25th?
Muslim Brotherhood was not involved at all in the organization of this. Muslim Brotherhood announced that they're not going to participate officially. And they said if the young guys want to join, they're not going to tell them no. If you want to free a society, just give them internet access. Because people are going to, the young crowds are gonna all go out and see and hear the unbiased media, see the truth about, other nations and their own nation, and they're going to be able to communicate and collaborate together.
Was this an internet revolution?
Definitely, this is the internet revolution. I'll call it Revolution 2.0.
The Egyptian government right now is talking about change. It's talking about committees, constitutional reform, investigating the last parliamentary elections, respecting the demands of the youth, stopping arrests, liberating the media. What do you think about these messages?
This is no longer the time to negotiate, unfortunately. We went on the street on 25th, and we wanted to negotiate. We wanted to talk to our government. We were, knocking the door. They decided to negotiate with us at night with rubber bullets, with police sticks, with water hoses, with tear gas tanks, and with arresting about 500 people of us. Thanks, we got the message. Now, when we escalated this and it became really big, they started listening to us.
Your arrest, do you think it was just a coincidence, a sweep of the streets, or do you think you were targeted?
No, I was targeted, of course. They wanted me.
What was going through your mind at that moment?
I was super scared.
You were blindfolded?
Yeah, blindfolded, of course.
For the whole time?
Yeah, of course. Today I was giving the complete power of attorney to my wife, everything I own, my bank accounts, everything, because I'm ready to die. There are tons of thousands of people there ready to die for our
dreams. You gave power of attorney to your wife because you think you may die?
Yeah. Of course, they gave us a lot of promises about, gradual change and so on. But then going back to the interview that Omar Suleiman did a couple of days ago, he said that Egyptians are not ready for democracy now.
What do you think of that?
So I think this is actually our real problem with the regime. Just the fact that, you get some few people to decide that they are of a better, of a better position to decide for a nation, and then use, media to brainwash people, use the baseball bat to hit those who are, who decide that they want to say no.
Do you feel any responsibility?
No. I am sorry, but I don't feel, I am sorry for their loss. I can't forget these people's photos. I still remember them. This could have been me or my brother. And they were killed as if they, if these people died in a war, that's fair and square. You hold the weapon and, someone is shooting, and you died, but no, none of them. And those people who were killed were not, they did not look like they did not really look like, they're going to attack anyone. They were just shooting them. They were shooting them a lot of the times the people were, stand on, the policemen would stand on the bridge and shoot people down. This is a crime. This president needs to step down because this is a crime. And I'm telling you, I am ready to die. I have a lot to lose in this life. I work, or, now I'm on a leave of absence. I work in the best company to work for in the world. I had the best wife, and I love my kids, but I'm willing to lose all of that for my dream to happen. And no one is gonna go against our desire. No one. And I'm telling this to Omar Suleiman. He is gonna watch this. You are not gonna stop us. Kidnap me. Kidnap all my colleagues. Put us in jail. Kill us. Do whatever you want to do. We are getting back our country. You guys have been ruining this country for 30 years. Enough. Enough. Enough.
Unbelievably powerful. That interview just staggering, brilliant. Joining us now, our reporter, Ivan Watson. Ivan, congratulations on that amazing interview. Boy, you're just gripping in every way. And, you know, despite the protests we've heard from Wael Ghonem, is he now not inevitably the spiritual leader of this revolution?
He certainly says he does not want to be the figurehead of this revolution, but, you know, and in fact, he says that the initial group that came together to mobilize for this initial January 25th protest, they were deliberately trying to be nameless, faceless, anonymous, and that has changed dramatically now. People recognize him on the streets. The big question is who can lead, who can speak for this group of people, and I asked him that again and again, and he didn't really give me a solid answer. He did say that perhaps one of his favorite choices to lead a transitional government in the future would be Mohammed el-Baradei, the former head of the International Atomic Energy Agency and the Nobel Prize laureate from Egypt.
Ivan, when Wael says that he is now ready to die and he's given his wife power of attorney, that's clearly a very personal decision, but do you get any sense that there are others who are willing to take that same kind of step forward toward complete surrender to the revolution?
We saw that last week here, Kathleen. I mean, it was very dramatic. You have men who were spending days and nights sleeping at the barricades that are protecting this little enclave in the center of Cairo, filthy, with bandages on their heads, you know, blood from days and nights of fighting, literally putting their lives on the line. And they have not backed down. And when it became apparent that the military might become the threat to this enclave, with much more powerful weapons than the gangs of pro-Mubarak demonstrators who had been throwing rocks and Molotov cocktails, when it became apparent that the military may try to step in, they went in front of the barricades, they sat down, they're still doing it right now, in front of campfires all night, ready to put their bodies in the way of the tanks, and this strange phenomenon, this pro-democracy enclave in the middle of Cairo.
You know, Ivan, it does have the air and sensibility of Tiananmen Square. Let's, of course, hope it turns out differently. One of the most important things that Wael Ghonem said in that tape is that he said this is not the moment for negotiation. It seems to me that as long as Ghonem denies the legitimacy of the ongoing negotiations, then these negotiations cannot succeed. He now is, I think, such an emotional force. When he says they're not real, they're not to be credited, doesn't that, in fact, leave them with no place to go?
Yeah, you could argue that, but I think the demonstrators feel emboldened right now, Elliot, and we see that their protest movement has grown. Last night, they moved from Tahrir Square, this place that we've all seen day after day here in the center of Cairo, and they moved blocks away to start another sit-in where they spent the night in front of the gates of the Egyptian parliament. And they were there again today, blocking off that street, and they vow that they will remain there and that they're shifting their tactics. They're going to start moving to other places as well. And the fascinating thing was that the Egyptian army did not stop them from moving in. So they say they're going to shift their tactics, expand their tactics, and continue mounting pressure against this government. And we'll see how far that can take them.
You say that Ghonem, when he walks on the street, is now recognized. I just see him as becoming such a pivotal character in this. Has the government responded? Has Suleiman responded? Have they in any way, through their enormous TV and propaganda apparatus, tried to respond to the power of this video?
I haven't heard a direct response. We have seen a shift a bit in state television in the last 72 hours. One former state television anchorwoman who just resigned in protest tells me, and she thinks that that's linked to the fact that a statement came all the way from the Prime Minister saying it's time to loosen up restrictions and self-censorship on the state media, and she has detected a definite shift in some of what's been broadcast. Some of what the demonstrators argue would be lies. He has helped puncture a lot of the misperceptions that have been deliberately broadcast. when Ghonem, right after coming out of detention on Monday, went to a private Egyptian TV channel, Elliot, and he said, "We are not drug dealers," like state media has said. "We are not criminals. We are not agents of foreign governments. We are Egyptian patriots, and we're here to make our country better." And that really had a ripple effect in Egyptian society.
Ivan, on a related issue, Ghonem said that the Muslim Brotherhood had nothing to do with these demonstrations. And, of course, the Brotherhood has now said that they have no interest in running anyone for public office. But as you have talked to people on the street in your interviews, do you feel like that's credible? I mean, I take Ghonem's word.
What he said is that the Muslim Brotherhood... What he said is that, Kathleen, the Muslim Brotherhood did not organize, did not participate in the initial January 25th demonstration. It took them days to jump on the bandwagon that was started by what, for all intents and purposes, seemed like upper-class, secular, highly educated young Egyptians. They are the nucleus of what we saw form here. And then the Muslim Brotherhood came in. He says now the Muslim Brotherhood are perhaps 10 to 15% of the demonstrators out there. Other people say maybe it's 30% of the people there. And he did also go on to say, Kathleen, you know, they are welcome to join us. The Muslim Brotherhood have been a bogeyman that has been used, this is his words, by the Egyptian government and by the U.S. government. They are not nearly as dangerous as the Egyptian government would have us think. They are a part of Egyptian society, and they have every right to be a part of this grassroots opposition movement.
All right.